everyone, my name is Jagras and welcome to my weapon tutorial guide for the switch axe in Monster Hunter World. The switch axe is very flexible, it's really good for comboing, and it has two forms, sword mode and axe mode. The axe mode is actually very fast, very nimble, but the sword mode is very slow, does a lot more damage, also has a very cool natural mind's eye, so you won't be bouncing off of parts you usually bounce off of. However, it kills your sharpness fast. Before I get into the combos and more elaborate part of this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about how the sword mode comes with files. These files come in a few different forms. It comes in power files, power element files, dragon files, paralysis files, and exhaust files. So power files just make your raw physical damage hit harder. Power element files make your elemental attacks hit harder. Dragon files cause your weapon that usually doesn't have any dragon element to have dragon element. Paralysis files cause your sword to apply the paralysis element to the monster. And exhaust files cause the monster's stamina to be drained. It could also knock it out of rage mode. And if you get these hits on a monster's head, it could cause it to KO. All of these files can only be used in sword mode. However, any natural element your weapon might have can go across sword mode and axe mode. Now that we have that out of the way, let's go into the moves. First, I want to talk to you guys about the axe mode combos, and then we'll get into the sword mode combos in a little bit. First off, let's go with a very basic combo. Hitting triangle 3 times gives you a very simple combo you can do. It also gives you an overhead slash that does actually a lot of damage when it comes down on the monster. Next up, pushing circle repeatedly causes you to go into your wild swing attack. This attack is very, very good for just getting a lot of quick hits in. It's also good for cutting off tails when the monster's on the floor. This attack also drains stamina, and I wouldn't use it for too long because it does kind of open you up to getting smacked by the monster, and turning off this combo kind of takes a good second. I usually, if I want to turn off the attack, I usually push triangle really quickly and then try rolling out of it, just because it takes a good second, as you can see, to just stop swinging. Pressing forward in triangle gives you your forward slash attack. This is good for opening attacks or positioning yourself to hit a monster in its weak spots. In the middle of some combos with the axe mode, you can do a little nimble hop to kind of get yourself out of attacks. It's pretty cool. It's a simple little dodge. You push left on your left analog stick or right on the left analog stick and X, and you just hop left and right. It's a nice little just get out of the way move. It doesn't dodge as well as a roll, but it's still pretty useful. It kind of reminds me of the Gunlance's dodge, honestly. However, you cannot dodge in the middle of the wild swing attack. It is one of those attacks that kind of hold you there, like I said before, and a good way to get out of it is to use your wild swing attack, push triangle to end it, and then dodge left, right, or back with the X and left analog stick as fast as possible. It is honestly the fastest way to get out of it without getting hit. You can also push triangle and circle to do a rising slash attack. Advanced moves. So the switch axe is very, very good for mixing combos together. All of the attacks that I've showed you so far can actually be mixed together. They can be blended and used a variety of different ways. For example, you can use your forward slash, rising slash, and then use your 3-hit combo and then go into wild swing attack, or you can do any of those in any different patterns you want. Just do however you want. So for another example, you could do wild swing attack, triangle to end it, then use your rising attack, then go right back into wild swing attack. And finally, your fade slash. Fade slash can only be used at the end of a combo, or for example, after another hit. So let's say you use your forward slash and you want to get out of a monster's way because you messed up and now you're open to get hit. You push back on your left analog stick and circle, and you do a swing back dodge attack maneuver thing. It's really cool. It can get you out of bad situations. However, it does not work with the wild swing attack. Sword mode. Sword mode can be achieved by pushing R2 on your controller, and you will switch from axe mode to your sword mode. You can also switch back from sword mode to axe mode by pushing R2 again. You just morph back and forth. It's really cool, very simple, and as long as you have enough gauge in the upper left corner here, you will be able to switch back into sword mode whenever you want. However, keep in mind that if your gauge is under this little white line, you go into this little reload animation. Do not do this. It'll hold you in place and you can get hit very easily by a monster or just killed by the monster. So be careful, do not have your gauge under this little white line. No matter what, avoid this at all costs. This little reload animation has gotten me killed plenty of times, so be very, very careful. There is also a gauge around the sword, as you can see here. It's actually a gauge for your amped mode, which I'll go more into near the end of the sword mode explanation part of the video. Sword mode has 2 combos. They can be interwoven together however you want. First up, you can use triangle 4 times to give yourself a very basic, simple combo. You can also use your circle twice, just push it twice and you go into this much harder hitting attack, but it's a little slower. And you can mix these up however you want. For example, you can push triangle, triangle, circle, circle, or triangle, 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 circle, circle. However, honestly, however you want. That's one thing I like about the Switch Axe. You can mix up your combos however the hell you want. My personal favorite combo is pushing triangle 3 times and then pushing circle once at the end. It gives you good damage and doesn't hold you still for too long to get hit by the monster. Or you can always just go triangle, circle, triangle, circle, triangle, circle, however you want. It's an infinite combo and it is amazing. And finally, pushing triangle and circle gives you your elemental discharge. Your elemental discharge is your most powerful attack. It is very, very strong, and depending on the files you have, could cause different ailments, different damage. Again, depending on your files. You push triangle and circle, and you start spamming your triangle to cause it to go into a very violent kind of slashing motion. And then at the end, it explodes, and after it explodes, you go back into your axe mode. You can actually cause the explosion to come out sooner. In the middle of your spamming of triangle, just stop pushing triangle. And it'll explode. It does less damage, but if you're in a bad situation, you want to get out of it as soon as possible. You can just let it go and explodes quickly and just roll out of there. Or if you just want to stop yourself from doing it all together, just don't push triangle. If you push circle and triangle and you go into the stab motion, just don't push triangle and it doesn't go off. Sword mode, amp state. Once you've hit the monster enough times in sword mode, this gauge right here will fill up, and once it is full, your sword will start to glow, and it sounds like it's popping, exploding. Your control might even vibrate. Mine does every time it fully charges. Is a really good indicator to know when you're in amp state. Once you are in amp state, however, your attacks hit harder. Your sharpness, I think, goes down faster, but I could be wrong about that one. And your elemental discharge changes in a fun way. Once your elemental discharge changes when you're in amp state, you will now mount the monster's tail, arms and legs, or its head. Once you are mounted on top of the monster, your sword will plummet into the monster's body. From then on, you will spam triangle, and this does a stupid amount more damage than it usually does. When the explosion goes off, you will fly off the monster and you will land on the ground. This landing leaves you very vulnerable, so you have to be very, very careful. You have to be very, very careful on how you do stuff, because if the monster isn't damaged enough, it will just run right towards you and smack you when you're on the ground. Keep in mind that the monster can roar you off or can hit you with certain elements when you're on top of the monster. For example, if I'm mounting a Rathalos and he just uses this little ground slam thing, I'll be poisoned even though I'm on his head, which is dumb, but it can still hurt you. So keep that in mind. Future updates to the game have mentioned that you will now not be able to get roared off the monster this way, which is good, because that's always been very annoying when you're mounting the monster and then he just roars you off. So keep that in mind, that they will be taking out the ability to get roared off the monster when you're mounting them with the elemental discharge out of the game. They're just taking it out, which I'm very happy about. So yeah, morph moves are my favorite part of the Switch Axe. Being able to morph between axe and sword mode in the middle of a combo is just fucking amazing. So take everything you've learned so far from this video and smash it together, essentially. All the combos you've learned can be utilized together with a simple press of R2. So let's use an example of you using your basic triangle attack. Triangle, triangle, triangle with your axe mode, pushing R2 to morph into sword mode, then pushing triangle, triangle again to go into another combo in sword mode, then pushing R2 to go back into axe mode. You can do this as many times as you want, as long as you have enough gauge to do it. It is very, very, very fun to go back and forth between modes. And you can also just get a good couple hits in sword mode, switch back to axe mode, and just move away quickly. It's just a fun thing to do, and it can always be utilized whenever you want, as long as you have enough gauge to do it. Sword mode also has a Fade Slash, just like your axe mode does. The Fade Slash can only be used in a morph animation though. So, for example, say you're using your triangle, triangle, triangle in your sword mode. You just push back on your left analog stick and R2, and you will morph back into your axe mode, and you also dodge out of incoming attacks. And finally, my favorite combo that the Switch Axe has to offer, it is the ability to morph into sword mode in the middle of your wild swing attack. It is so freaking cool. Just spam circle over and over again, then push R2, and you go into this really cool animation when you're swinging around and you go right into sword mode. It also does a stupid amount of damage and is really good for waking up monsters. For example, just position yourself correctly, start your swinging, push R2, and you go into the swing attack, and when you hit the second hit on the monster's head, that does the highest amount of single hit damage for your axe mode, you'll switch right into sword mode and just start smacking the monster. It's great. Fantastic. I highly recommend you guys do it like that for wake ups. If you don't have anyone who is a greatsword user or a bow user, I definitely recommend doing this with your Switch Axe. And I'm just putting this last little part in the video right now. I actually forgot to mention this, but the Switch Axe also has slide attacks and dive attacks. None of them are very impressive, so I didn't really think I should like mention them in the video, but they're there. They're not really anything too special though. They're just kind of a rising slash and a downward slash. Nothing really special. And finally, in the last video, I asked you guys if you guys want me to talk about armor skills. Some of you said yes, so I decided to add them to the video. First up, like I said before, the ability to get roared off the monster while you're mounting them with the elemental discharge is going to be patched out, but I would still highly recommend using earplugs, just because monsters roaring gives you a very easy time to hit them. It gives you free hits. And earplugs are always a safe bet to have on as a skill, and I recommend it to anyone for any weapon, honestly. So get the earplugs, 100% great. I also highly recommend you use quick sharpening, because the sword mode burns through sharpness really, really fast. So you kind of want to have to sharpen your weapon as fast as possible, and having quick sharpening is always really good to have. Focus is also a very, very good skill to have. It helps you build up gauge faster and could help you stay in amp mode for a longer period of time. And finally, any attack buffing, affinity boosting skills are also really good. So attack up, weakness exploit. If you guys have any other skills you guys recommend, please let me know in the comments down below. And we are now at the end of the video. Thank you to Tess and Beshberg, I hope I said your name correctly, for suggesting I do a Switch Axe tutorial guide, and Beshberg for asking me to put skills at the end of the video. It means a lot that you guys care enough for, for suggestions like that. And if anyone else wants me to make videos about any weapon, let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys want to follow us on Twitter, please do, because YouTube's notifications are so fucking busted right now that I have to beg people to follow me on Twitter so you guys know when videos go up. So please follow us on Twitter. It's a must-do now. Actually follow anyone that you follow on YouTube on their Twitter, because YouTube's notifications are busted as fuck. Also, we also have a Patreon if you guys want to donate any money. That'd be great. And I'll see you guys next video. Bye!